Imagine waking up at 3 a.m. to the sound of your own name being whispered by a voice that isn't human. You reach for your throat, feeling a sharp, stinging pain, and when you look in the mirror, you see 3 deep black scratches that weren't there when you went to bed. This is exactly what happened to a man named Somchai, a successful real estate developer who thought his only enemies were business rivals. But in the shadows of the ancient forests near the border, someone wasn't just planning to bankrupt him, they were planning to erase him from existence using a lethal form of black magic known as the Incantations of the 7 Deaths. The most terrifying part: the doctors found nothing wrong with him. His heart was strong, his blood was clean, yet he was wasting away, losing 5 pounds every single day, as if something was literally eating him from the inside out. The mystery begins in a small village where traditional beliefs still hold more weight than modern science. Somchai had always been a skeptic, a man of logic and numbers. He laughed at the stories of kunsai and cursed objects, until the morning he found a small clay doll buried under his doorstep. The doll was wrapped in red thread, pierced with 7 rusted nails, and most disturbingly, it was stuffed with a lock of Somchai's own hair. How did they get his hair? Who could have gotten close enough to his private residence to bury this curse? Mystery Code believes this is a vital piece of the puzzle, suggesting that the betrayal came from within his own inner circle, someone who knew his every move and had access to his most personal space. As the days passed, the manifestations grew more aggressive. Somchai began to hear the sound of heavy footsteps on his roof at night, but when he checked his security cameras, there was nothing but static. He started finding raw meat, rotting and covered in flies, inside his locked car. His once thriving business began to crumble as he lost focus, consumed by a paralyzing fear. He wasn't just being haunted, he was being hunted by an unseen force that seemed to know his deepest fears. The local shaman, a man known only as Arjun Barom, took one look at Somchai and turned pale. He told Somchai that the curse wasn't just meant to kill him, it was meant to trap his soul so he could never find peace, even in death. This is the reality of the darkest sorcery, where the goal is total spiritual annihilation. The tension in Somchai's life reached a breaking point on the 4th day. He was driving down a deserted highway when his steering wheel suddenly locked and a tall, shadow figure appeared in the middle of the road. He swerved, narrowly avoiding a fatal crash, but as he regained control, he heard a low, guttural chanting coming from his car's speakers. It wasn't the radio. It was a rhythmic, ancient incantation that seemed to vibrate in his very bones. Mystery Code will now reveal the truth about these logical pivots, the moments where the supernatural bleeds into the physical world with undeniable force. This wasn't a hallucination. The car's electronics were completely fried, and the smell of ozone and sulfur filled the cabin. Somchai realized then that no amount of money or influence could save him from a power that didn't follow the laws of physics.
Desperate, Somchai agreed to a high-stakes ritual at Arjun Barom's forest shrine. He had to spend an entire night inside a circle of consecrated salt, holding a Hun Peiyan protector spirit, while the shaman chanted against the darkness. But there was a catch. If Somchai left the circle for any reason, the curse would strike instantly. As the moon rose, the forest came alive with unnatural sounds. Screams of children, the roar of a tiger that shouldn't be there, and most chillingly, the voice of his late mother calling for help from the darkness. He felt a cold hand brush against his neck, a sensation of ice-cold water being poured down his spine. He had to resist the urge to run, to stay grounded in the face of absolute terror. In the middle of the night, the shaman's chanting reached a fever pitch. Suddenly, the clay doll that had been found under Somchai's doorstep began to bleed. Thick, black liquid oozed from the punctures made by the 7 nails. Arjun Barom shouted that the source of the curse was near, and that Somchai must visualize the face of the person who hated him most. Somchai closed his eyes and saw a face he didn't expect, his own younger brother, Crit. Crit had always lived in Somchai's shadow, struggling with debt and resentment. But could his own flesh and blood really resort to lethal sorcery?
Mystery Code notes that the most effective curses often require a blood connection to bridge the gap between the caster and the victim, making the bond of family a double-edged sword. The ritual continued, but the shadows fought back. The salt circle began to break as if pushed by invisible hands. Somchai felt a sudden, sharp pain in his chest, as if a needle were being driven into his heart. He gasped for air, his vision blurring. He saw Crit standing just outside the shrine's light, holding a similar clay doll and a ritual knife. But Crit wasn't the one chanting. Standing behind Crit was a figure shrouded in tattered black robes, a renegade monk who had been exiled years ago for practicing forbidden arts. This was the master of the Incantations of the Seven Deaths.
He had manipulated Crit's jealousy to fuel the curse, using the brother's resentment as a battery for his dark magic. As the first light of dawn began to break, the final confrontation occurred. Arjun Baram used a sacred dagger to strike the bleeding doll, reflecting the curse back to its source. A blood-curdling scream echoed through the forest, but it didn't come from Crit. It came from the shadowed figure in the black robes. The sorcerer's own magic, now magnified by the shaman's counter-ritual, was tearing him apart. He vanished into a cloud of black smoke, leaving behind only the smell of burnt hair and old bones. Crit collapsed, sobbing, the trance broken. He had been a pawn in a game far more dangerous than he ever imagined.
The mystery of why the sorcerer chose Somchai was finally revealed in the final moments. It wasn't just about business or family. Decades ago, Somchai's father had accidentally discovered a hidden cache of ancient scrolls belonging to the sorcerer's lineage and had hidden them away to protect the village. The sorcerer had spent his entire life trying to reclaim them, believing they held the key to ultimate power. He saw Somchai as the last obstacle in his path. The Incantations of the Seven Deaths were not just a weapon, but a key to unlock a dark legacy that had been buried for generations.
Somchai survived, but he was forever changed. The scratches on his neck faded, but the memory of those 7 days remained burned into his soul. He reconciled with his brother, though the trust was gone. He realized that the world is much larger and more terrifying than his spreadsheets and bank accounts suggested. There are forces that operate in the gaps of our understanding, ancient powers that wait for a moment of weakness or a spark of resentment to strike. Mystery Code reminds us that while we may live in a modern world, the ancient shadows never truly go away. They just wait for someone to call them back.
In the end, the clay doll was destroyed, but the scrolls remained hidden. Somchai chose not to look for them, knowing that some secrets are better left in the earth. The incantations and sorcery that nearly killed him were a reminder of the thin line between the seen and the unseen. He now lives a quieter life, always keeping a small circle of salt under his bed and a watchful eye on the shadows, because he knows that once you've been marked by the dark, you never truly stop looking over your shoulder. The mystery isn't just about who tried to kill him, but about the ancient darkness that still lingers, waiting for its next victim to wake up at 3 a.m.
The story of Somchai serves as a chilling warning. We often think of magic as a thing of the past, a myth told to frighten children. But for those who have felt the cold touch of a curse or heard the whispers in the dark, the truth is much more visceral. It is a world where words have power, where a lock of hair can be a death sentence, and where the people closest to us can be the most dangerous of all. As Somchai looks out over his estate, he no longer sees just property and profit. He sees a landscape filled with spirits and stories, where every shadow could hold a secret, and every whisper could be an incantation. The final reveal came months later when Somchai found an old letter from his father hidden in a safe. The letter explained that the scrolls weren't just hidden, they were destroyed. His father had lied to the sorcerer to protect the family, knowing the greed they would inspire. The sorcerer had been hunting a ghost, fueled by a lie that cost him his life. Somchai realized that his father's magic was the greatest of all, the power of a protective secret. But even with the scrolls gone, the fear remains, because the idea of the power is often more dangerous than the power itself. And in the world of incantations and sorcery, belief is the most lethal weapon of all.
As we close this chapter, Mystery Code invites you to look around your own room. Is that shadow in the corner just a twitch of the light? Is that sudden chill just the air conditioner? Or is it something else? Something ancient, something dark, something that has been watching and waiting for the right moment to whisper your name. The world is full of mysteries, but some are better left unsolved. For Somchai, the cost of the truth was almost his life. For you, it might just be a sleepless night. But remember, the next time you find something strange on your doorstep, don't pick it up. Some gifts come with a price that no one can afford to pay.
The black magic of the 7 deaths may have been defeated this time, but the world is vast, and there are many more incantations yet to be spoken. In the remote corners of the world, and even in the heart of our busiest cities, the old ways persist. They adapt, they evolve, and they wait. Somchai's story is just one of many, a single thread in a tapestry of the supernatural that spans across time and culture. It is a reminder that no matter how much we think we know, there is always something we don't, and that something is often what we should fear the most.
So, as the sun sets and the long shadows begin to creep across the floor, take a moment to be grateful for the light. Because in the world of incantations and sorcery, the light is the only thing that keeps the darkness at bay. And even then, it's not always enough. The whispers will continue, the shadows will move, and the mysteries will remain. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your heart guarded. You never know when the next incantation will be meant for you. The cycle of magic and mystery continues, a never-ending dance between the known and the unknown, where the stakes are nothing less than your very soul. Somchai's journey through the valley of the shadow of death taught him that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the ability to face the unthinkable and survive. He is a survivor of a war that most people don't even know is being fought. A war of spirit, of intent, and of ancient laws that predate civilization itself. He walks among us now, a silent witness to the power of the unseen, a living testament to the fact that sometimes the things we can't explain are the things that define us the most. The incantations have ended, but the echo remains, a low hum in the background of his life, a constant reminder of the night the sorcery came to call. And as he sits on his porch, watching the stars, he wonders if somewhere out there, another man is waking up at 3 a.m., feeling the same sharp pain in his neck, and hearing the same whisper in the dark. He wonders if they will have the strength to stay in the circle, or if they will run into the waiting arms of the shadows. The mystery of the incantations of the 7 deaths may be closed for him, but for someone else, it is only just beginning. The darkness is patient. The darkness is eternal. And the darkness is always hungry for more. Mystery Code has brought you this story, not just to entertain, but to enlighten. To show you that behind the veil of our everyday lives lies a world of terrifying possibility. A world where incantations and sorcery are as real as the device you are using to hear it.
We hope you stay curious, stay vigilant, and above all, stay safe. For the world is a mysterious place, and you never know when you might become the next chapter in its long and shadowed history. The mystery continues, and we will be here to guide you through it, one whisper at a time.
This concludes the harrowing tale of Somchai and the black magic that nearly consumed him. A story of greed, betrayal, and the ultimate triumph of the human spirit over the darkest of forces. But as the screen fades to black and the silence returns, remember the lesson. The most dangerous magic is the one you don't believe in, because that is when it is most free to act. Stay alert, for the night is long and full of secrets. And who knows, maybe the next story we tell will be yours. Until then, this is Mystery Code, signing off from the heart of the unknown.